Okay, the December 13th, 2023 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. Board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given the opportunity to do so by the chair and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask all persons who expect to give testimony this evening to stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, or nothing but the truth?
I do. Okay. Before we go into ex parte, things are going to be a little bit complicated tonight, so I want to give you guys the order. The first case we're going to hear is 2683, which is actually the second case on your list. Then we're going to hear case 23-3311. And then we'll be hearing two cases at the same time, and that's case 1848 and case 4828. And then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled program.
Actually, we'll have one more.
Okay.
Case number 5 is going to be 5221.
5221. Okay, so then we'll do case 5221. Then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled program. All right. Everybody get all that? Okay, this time I'd like to ask board members if they've had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, when and where the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you received any written communications, please disclose the nature of the communications and provide a copy of it to the city clerk to be filed for the record.
I have not.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I've had none?
I've had none.
Very good. Okay, approval of minutes. Minutes of the regular meeting held on November 8th. Hopefully you've all had a chance to review those. If anybody has any changes, additions, corrections, now's the time. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Okay, first case, 23-2683.
Case 232683, City versus Jean C. Paul and Deborah L. Paul for the property located at 308 Belclair Place. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-102-13-1, protective treatment. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on May 24, 2023. During my inspection at the time, I noted heavy damage to the stucco of the exterior walls of the residence, wall paint faded, awning frame missing canvas, and side yard fence screening the RV in disrepair. Left door hangers at the residence with compliance date of June 9, 2023. My reinspection on July 6, 2023 noted the awning frame on the residence was removed, but the other violations were still present. This time I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of August 8, 2023. I posted the notice at the home as well as City Hall. Mail copies both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. On July 7th, 2023, I was contacted by Mr. Paul requesting an extension until September 8th, 2023. The extension was granted. On September 11th, 2023, I inspected the property again, noted the side yard fence screening the RV repaired, and the damage stucco on the walls in the process of being repaired. But the residence still needed to be painted. On November 27, 2023, I re-inspected the residence and noted the exterior walls were repaired but is still in need of paint. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence, notice posted at the door, and the photographs of the three photographs of the exterior walls of the residence faded.
We'll accept those, thank you.
As of today's date, he has made a vast improvement on it. The residence, I'll say, is about 90% painted. There's just the back part, which is about 55 linear feet. The rear of the residence is not painted that you can see from South Glenarvan,
And that's all that remains is that piece to be painted?
that I can see, yes, sir.
Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, so you would say he's been making steady progress?
Yes, sir.
There wasn't a large time gap between whatever paint?
The painting started after he got the notice of hearing.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
But up until then, the steady repairs on the residence, the RV, the side yards for the fence for the RV, the patching of the walls. There was a lot, you can see in the photos there,
Yeah.
there was a lot of repairs that he had to do.
Okay. Any other questions for the code officer? I assume the respondent is here.
Respondents here.
Would you like to come up and say something? Before you begin, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Deborah Paul. This is Jean Paul. We're at 308 Belclair Place. And mostly what he has said is correct. We did receive a notice on June 9th that had peeling paint, missing awnings, damage to exterior walls, and side yard fence. It didn't mention anything about painting. So when we got we didn't get a notice until July 6th, and after reviewing it, it did say something about painting, but we didn't notice that because we were just saying, oh, we did all this stuff, So, but we had planned on painting anyway. The home is almost 100 years old now. So I'm sure you understand we have a lot of unique challenges with an older home like that. So we were repairing the stucco on the walls, and we had planned to paint. We were, picking out paint and
Putting the fence up.
Well, as I understand it, the only thing left is about 55 linear feet of paint to be done.
yes, we have some stucco issues on the back of the wall, so we need to repair that too before we can.
That's why it's not painted.
Yeah,
It's 90% painted.
Yeah.
It's only a little bit of it.
Do you think you can have the stucco repairs and the painting done within the next 30 days?
Well, the biggest problem we have, we couldn't get somebody to do it in time, to repair it in time. Most people want to say, well, after the holiday, we booked. But I could just paint it in just to make you guys happy and just get over it. I could do that. I just didn't want to, because it's got cracks that need to be repaired before we can paint.
That's my question. Do you think you can get the cracks repaired and get it painted within the next 30 days?
could we have 60 days?
So you're saying 30 days is not enough?
No, it's enough. We just don't want to be getting our backs against the wall at the last minute. Because I can fix it, patch it up, but we're expecting somebody to come and fix it, and they just got, they
He
cannot.
wants a yes or no for 30 days.
All right, we'll do it in 30 days then. I'll just patch it up and fix it up. I can do that.
So, but the reason you'll understand why I'm asking that as we progress through this, okay? So, and again, that's the only thing left to do is that the patching and the
We
painting.
don't even think it's visible from the street.
You can't see it.
but-
We don't even know how you can see the back, because our whole house is surrounded by trees.
Superman.
And I don't know how you could see it, because,
X-ray vision.
X-ray vision.
I don't know, but I hope it didn't get in my fence, out my fence to do that.
Yeah, sure. Don't tell them about the drones.
The only thing that I saw when I inspected the residence from the street is the front.
Yeah.
I can't see damaged stucco in the back of the residence. That's why the exterior wall damage was taking off the NOV and brought into compliance, because everything that I can physically see in the front was done.
Right.
So damage in the rear, I can't outsee it. So that's why you know, it needs to be, you know, I only see paint.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's a question for Tom. Tom, do you have any problem giving them 60 days?
I have no problem with the holidays coming upon us.
Yes, that's why
I
I'm
have no
considering
problem with
that.
60 days.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, you can have a seat, thank you. Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case 23-2683, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 308 Billy Clare Belt Place, with the applicable code violation, Section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection 1, protective treatment. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Jose Sullivan, and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, of which is received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before, we say February 14th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with the order on or before the day they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? I'm sorry, all those in, I'm just jumping ahead. Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carried. So you've been found in violation, but you've been given 60 days until February 14th to bring it into compliance. If something happens and you can't bring it into compliance by February 14th, you need to come back and see us on February 14th, and at that point, you can ask for a extension, okay? No guarantees you'll get it, but you can ask, okay? All right? Good luck and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Next case.
Okay, we're gonna go to case 233311, City versus Abdul Hussein Shabani and Atusa Amiri for the property located at 332 Sunnyside Road. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, permit application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on June 29, 2023. Community Development requested a notice of violation to be issued for a after-the-fact driveway permit being done without a permit. This time, it completed notice of violation with compliance dated July 13, 2023. Posted notice at the residence as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies, both certified and regular, mailed to the address of the registered owner. On July 12, 2023, I was contacted by the homeowner requesting additional time since he was having difficulty contacting community development. On July 31st, 2023, I checked the system and noted the status of the permit was still in plan check. As of November 28, no permit has been obtained due to the application being incomplete. I was contacted by the homeowner again asking for additional time, which was not granted, and advised him the case will be presented at the December MCEB. This time, I'd like to present photographic evidence, notice posted at the front door, the demo driveway, and the stop work order.
We'll accept those, thank you. Mr. Silva, if you wouldn't mind educating us, what would be since the driveway's already been poured, I guess, right?
Excuse me?
Driveway's already been installed, right?
Hasn't been started. It was demolished, but.
Okay, it was demolished, but the new driveway-
Without submitting plans to do the demo to replace the driveway.
Okay.
He's here, the respondent is here tonight.
Okay, so walk us through what should happen.
Once he has submitted plans, they're in plan check right now. Once the plans are approved for the driveway and he pays for the permit, then we're done with it.
Okay, thank you.
It's a permit case.
Any other questions for the code officer?
So you said,
Well, one at a time. Bill?
so you said the plans have been submitted? They're being reviewed?
The plans are in plan check.
When were the plans submitted?
Dallas is here tonight, he can answer that.
Okay, maybe Dallas needs to come up.
Yes.
Go ahead, hang on a second. Who's your question for, Rod? Is it?
Yes, for Jose, what was it before? It's a concrete slab,
It was a concrete slab, sir.
okay, and the,
There was trees there that were removed with the arborist ladder. So that was a concrete slab driveway there.
he needs a permit to replace that slab?
Yes.
Okay.
However he's going to replace it, he needs to submit the plans, which have been submitted, get approval, and get the permit for it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So he needs a permit prior to demolition as well?
Yes, ma'am, he should have had one.
Any other questions for Jose? Dallas, come on up and tell us if you know when the plans were submitted to.
Dallas Ross, building official. I don't know the exact date that it was submitted, however, it was submitted with incomplete. It had a demolition of driveway, but it did not state what they were going to replace the driveway with.
Okay,
Within the last 2 to 3 weeks, we got the revision in stating how he's going to repair or replace the driveway. It was delivered today to engineering. Engineering has to approve anything that goes in the right of way. So once we get that back, we can process it and get his permit issued.
and what's the turnaround?
Well, I'm going to go over and see if I can get it out of there. So
Okay.
they've been taking about a week to get it out of engineering, but I'm going to push it to get it out sooner.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? I assume the respondent is here. Did you want to say something to us? State your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. Abdul Hassan Sharabiani. I reside at 332 Sunnyside. And thank you for your time. I've resided at this location since 2009. As the gentleman mentioned, my driveway, which measured more or less about 2,200 square feet, had a two-lane portion and a single-lane portion, and there was a large tree in the middle. Within the first few years that we moved in, we noticed that every summer, a little bit of water would migrate under the garage doors every time it would rain. Over the years, it went from a few inches to a few feet, and early this summer, the garage got completely flooded. The large tree, over the years started shifting the pavement, and currently the garage is facing Brentwood, and runoff from the road pretty much comes in, hops over the gutter and comes into my driveway, circles back before getting out. Well, with the slab change, now the water gets in but doesn't get out. We had to make a judgment call and remove the drywall in order to avoid any further damage. Right now, all my cabinetry in the garage has been destroyed because of the water damage. So I apologize if we didn't pull permits. I didn't realize that I needed permit to remove this thing. The reason we haven't put anything back in there, the reality is that the finished floor elevation of my garage is lower than the street. If I put back concrete, the same issue is going to occur. I've discussed this matter with my engineer. We've looked into pavers. We've looked into gravel. None of them are really desirable. I have to find a way somehow to collect drainage and get rid of it. So what we've decided, and that's the drawings that I have here, and I've submitted to the building department, is to reduce the width of my driveway, increase more green space, so if the water does come to the property, it gets perked. So
Just hold on a second, Tom, but if I understand correctly, the violation is the permit. When he does the work is not part of tonight's discussion.
That's correct.
Okay, Thank you.
If I may just add, so when I was contacted by code enforcement that you need a permit, I came in, filled up the paperwork, and I stated that I'm applying for a demolition permit. I have no idea what I'm gonna build and when I'm gonna do it. Maybe within some reasonable time, but I need time to figure this out. And they said, okay, well, come on, fill up the paperwork, and so I did that. And then I was contacted about a month later that you also have to submit some sort of drawing as to what you're putting back. Well, with pressure from code enforcement, we started looking into it. We've done the final grading, but I'm finding a lot of roots, a lot of stumps, so I'm cleaning all that up. So I would respectfully request some time in order to get this.
Well, like I
figured out.
just asked Tom, the physical work, when that gets done, is not part of tonight's case.
Right.
Getting the permit will bring you into conformance, will make the violation go away. Sounds like he's gonna try to get it expedited for you. So that's, typically you will have until next meeting to bring the property into compliance. And getting the permit is how you bring the property into compliance. So you can still have time to figure out exactly what you're gonna do in there, and actually get the work done. So you should be able to, you should be okay. Okay? Any other questions?
I just had,
One at a time, Rod, hang on.
I
Bill,
was just gonna say, I guess there is a time limit on the building permit, right? There's a
it's
certain.
6 months,
Okay.
right?
So-
6 months. Go ahead, Rod.
I just, it's just a suggestion. Did you look into porous concrete? Just to,
My concern right now is the two large stumps from the two trees that were removed. One was over 36 inches and the other one was even larger.
Wow.
We couldn't remove the root balls, and I've had experience where you pour concrete and within a couple of years, everything starts cracking. Given the cost of replacement, I really don't want to have to do this again. So I think the building department gave me kind of a quick fix right now that we're just going to do a gravel bed with hard edges. I think that's allowed, and that's what I'm going to do until, see how much settlement occurs and hopefully come back and do concrete because I need a concrete surface.
Sure. Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll take this one.
Thank you.
All right, let me get my own. In case number 23-3311, I move the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 332 Sunnyside Road. And the violation is section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Jose Silva, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before January 10th. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they're ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion carries. So you have been found in violation. You have until January 10th to get the permit, okay? As far as getting the actual work done, that will be identified in the permit documentation, okay? So January 10th is not the date that the driveway has to be finished. It's just the date you have to have the permit by, okay? Very good. Next case, please.
Okay, case 23-1848, City vs. Anthony Moore and Jillian Moore for the property located at 941 North River Hills Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, permits, application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Before you begin, Ernie, question for you. Case number 23-1848 and case number 23-4828 is the same property with the same violation. Do we have to hear those separately?
I had thought about that. I was hoping to do it both, but I think just the way we kind of operate here, unfortunately, I think it's going to be better to hear each one
One
separately.
separately? Okay, that's fine, as long as we know. Okay. Floor is yours, sir.
All right, good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on April 11th, 2023 for windows and doors being installed without a permit. The Code Department received a work without permit list from Community Development on August 3rd, 2023, and a notice of violation was prepared on that date with a reinspection date of November 15th. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on November 15th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the December Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on August 3rd, 2023.
We'll accept those, thank you. Sir, you're welcome to stay, but you're not required to. Okay, if you want to hang out, that's fine, but if you want to leave, that's fine too.
Exhibit number 1 shows the notice of violation posting. Exhibit number 2 shows a screenshot of the work without permit stop work order from Community Development. Per Community Development, the permit required for window and door installation is in plan review, but the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling on the work without permit.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah, I'm
Go
a
ahead, Bill.
little confused. This is 23-1848?
Yes.
Yes.
Says, the description says it has to do with lawn irrigation systems, concrete driveway.
Yes, there was a large variety of issues there, and some of them have been merged into other permits and changed, and some of them have been deleted per the building official.
Okay, so
The only
right
one
now it's just
outstanding at this point is just the doors and windows.
windows and doors. Okay, thanks.
So, has any of the work on the windows and doors been accomplished and it got red tagged, or where do we stand on the actual work?
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's what happened, okay.
Is the client? Is the owner here?
Any other questions for the code officer? Okay, seeing none, we'll entertain a motion. Go ahead.
Okay. In case number 23-1848, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 941 North River Hills Drive, with the applicable code violation of Section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1, permits. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Jose Sullivan, Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before January 10th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with the order on or before the day they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day, the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case?
Next case is 23-4828, City versus Anthony Moore and Jillian Moore for the property located at 941 North River Hills Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, permits application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was referred by Community Development on the work without permit list, which the Code Department received on September 21st, 2023. Electrical work being done without a permit. I prepared a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of September 29th. Posted a copy at the residence, and a copy was posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirements, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on November 15th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the December Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on September 21st and a screenshot of the stop work order.
We'll accept those, thank you.
For community development, the permit required for the electrical permit is in plan review and the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
I'm just curious why there are two violations for the same property for permits. I mean, basically, it's this.
Well, it's different permits for work occurring at different time periods. I should have made it a repeat violation, but I didn't. But
Oh, okay.
one thing was observed, and then
Then later on.
gentleman lives out of state the majority of the time, or at least works out of state, and I think he just, upon occasion, has work done at the house, I guess, when funds are available or whatever reason, I don't know, but they, you
But
know,
when the first violation occurred, he wasn't doing electrical work.
right.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do that because I did the one before,
Okay.
just to be on the record.
On a roll.
Don't make me laugh. 28, right? This is the case, right? The same guy?
Yes,
Yeah.
4828.
Or
Yes,
28,
yes.
yeah.
In case number 234828, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 9941 North River Hills Drive with the applicable code violation, Section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1, again permits. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Doug Allen, along with other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that violation be corrected on or before January 10th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the date, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, 23-5221.
Case 23-5221, City versus Matthew R. Moran for the property located at 409 Bullard Parkway. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-10213O, interior floor, walls, ceiling, maintained in good condition. Section 8-10213P, structural supports, maintained in good condition, and Section 12-860, an ops outdoor storage area. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case this evening originated from a tenant's complaint that code staff received on September 25th, 2023, of several issues going on the interior of the structure. On September 26, 2023, the tenant moved out of the rental property. However, she had sent photos showing the interior condition, which I believe was termite infestation that caused damage to the ceiling beams and drywall.
Wow.
The October 9th, I sent over a request to the building official to visit the property to take appropriate actions necessary. On October 11th, building official Dallas Foss issued a stop work order that was posted on the front wall of the structure. That same day, I went to inspect the property and noted the overgrown rear yard, several appliances stored in the side and rear yard, drywall hanging down from the interior ceiling. Since the home was unoccupied, I prepared a notice of violation on September 16, 2023, with the compliance date of November 3rd, 2023. And I also posted at the front wall of the property, and I also posted it at the owner's property in Temple Terrace. I also requested copies to be sent out certified in first-class mail. I also requested a copy to be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on November 22nd, 2023, noted that the rear yard had been mowed and the appliances had been removed from the rear yard. However, the two microwaves were still in the side yard, and no engineer's report nor building permits had been issued to address the ceiling beams and the drywall. I did speak to Matthew Moran, he's the property owner, on November 30th, 2023, about the code violation issues. He had stated that because the tenant was no longer living inside the structure, he thought he had an appropriate time to take care of the violations. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on November 22nd, 2023, and also photos that were sent by the old tenant to code staff. The number one is the posting of the notice letter. 2 shows the 2 microwaves in the side yard. Exhibit number 3 shows the ceiling beams damage in the rear room. And Exhibit 4 shows the drywall damage. I'd like to submit.
We'll accept those, thank you. Question for you, Ernie. Him just standing there telling us that the pictures are from the tenant, is that good enough?
Well, I was actually going to ask you a follow-up question about
Okay.
Barone, have you observed the,
From the exterior of the structure, through the window, I could see that hanging down, this drywall hanging down. But the building official has been inside the structure as well, so he could swear that he saw it as well.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
state your name and,
Dallas Foss, building official.
Mr. Foss, could you take a look at these photographs, please, of the interior? You've seen the interior?
Yes,
of
I
this?
have been inside the structure.
Do these photographs accurately depict what the condition of the inside was when you?
Yes, it
looked at
does.
Thank you very much.
Well, good job, thank you. You got a question for one of the code officers?
Or
Yeah,
Tom.
go ahead.
Yes.
God, it just went out of my head. You talked with the owner.
I did.
Did he give you any indication as to when he was going to plan to start making the repairs or anything like that?
He just said in the near future, because it's. I know that, sir. I know that. But he said in the near future, because of the tenant not being no longer inside the structure, he had
Okay.
adequate time to take care of it.
Thank you. Any other questions for the code officer?
Yeah, I just was curious, as far as safety concerns, is that property still rentable? I mean,
No.
would someone be allowed to go in there at this point? Is there, the city is blocked, that will prohibit that from happening, just in case? I'm not saying it would happen, but.
Best my knowledge, I would say no, but that's a question for the building official. If it's unsafe, he would have to make that call.
So is that,
Just a second, Rod. Go ahead, do you have a follow-up, Bill?
no, he was gonna have the building inspector.
So we have 2 still outstanding violations.
Yes, so, in the notice letter, so just so you brought that up, since you brought that up, I cited them for minimum housing, interior floors, walls, and ceilings. So the drywall damage was that violation there. The other one, structural supports, you'll see from the pictures that they deteriorated, and that's where I came up with that violation.
But the 12,860 is still in violation too, right? Because of
The 2
microwave?
microwaves have been removed.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't get to that portion yet, but
Oh, okay.
today's inspection noted that the 2 microwaves on the side have been removed, and I will be submitting an affidavit of
Okay,
compliance.
very good,
Okay?
thank you.
Sorry about that.
You have a follow-up?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So these violations also require permits, so I just wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not only a
You know.
permit, but the building official is requesting an engineer's report,
Yeah, okay.
okay?
That's what I wanted to emphasize on. It's not like go and fix it yourself.
Yeah, I think this gentleman wanted to fix it himself. That was, I thought, his intention.
Okay, well, we'll hear from him in a second. Okay, thank you, Tom.
We'll hear from him.
Any other questions for the code officer?
Just to remind you, he was not sworn in also.
Okay, before you say anything, you need to stand up and get sworn in.
Well, I was one.
I had
He was.
Okay,
I had a question for the,
hang on, Tom, sorry, Tom, got another question.
well, no, I thought the building inspector was gonna come up and give us.
He is, if that's who you need, that's who'll come up. Sir, you can have a seat, we'll call you. Go ahead, Dallas. Okay, so go ahead, Bill, ask Dallas.
Well, just the same question. The property is basically not rentable, or the city would block any attempt to.
When the structure was posted with a red tag saying, it was also stated as an unsafe structure, so it's uninhabitable.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Sir, if you want to come up, state your name and address for the record first, please.
Yes, name's Matt Moran. This address is pertaining to 409 Bullard Parkway. The evidence from the pictures represents the damage. I have had a lot of health problems. I've injured my back and it set everything out of whack with my digestive. So I've had a lot of struggle just in terms of health. Everything I've heard is accurate as far as I'm concerned. I had no intentions on having anybody living there whatsoever until it was all done. I had spoke originally, I've owned the property for close to 30 years now. And I had spoken originally with the inspector who does the inspections for the fires annually, a person named Lynn, and I'm trying to think of his last. Lynn, and he had mentioned to me that he had spoken with the previous tenant who hadn't paid me. So, I mean, this person hadn't paid me in years. So, I mean, I'm a little bit behind in terms of that. I was able to collect money during the COVID period of time, but her time living there had paid less than maybe a half of year's worth of rent for the 5 years or so that she had been there. So, when she did leave and I didn't have to file an eviction, she left. I was in failing health and was just thinking of when I would be able to get this work done. When I saw the permit for the stop notice, then I understood that I had to get it done with a permit, and am accepting that. I aim to please, and I don't want to cause any trouble. So whatever I need to do, I'm perfectly happy to conform to that. So when I realized that the matter was going to be something that I had to get a contractor with the permit, that I was working primarily on the other work that needed to be done in terms of tree limbs or trees that had fallen, and just yard work, and getting the equipment running was difficult for me. So I apologize of having created this to begin with. But I'm just eager to please in terms of whatever it takes to get the permits and necessary to have it meet whatever compliance and codes that you're asking me to do. So I'm very eager to have all that done.
Yeah, but you understand that it's not just, in order to get a permit, you also have to have an engineer come in.
I do understand this. I have had a background, my education is in psychology and whatnot, but I did work on homes for a few years. So I've had experience in construction. So, I mean, that's...
Any questions for the respondent?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rob.
How long do you think it's going to take you to achieve to bring up these violations?
Well, I mean, I really want it done as soon as possible. So expedition is in my interest. I want somebody in there and I want it done. I've spoken with Mr. Foss. He's given me recommendations on a few contractors. I know a few people. So it's just a matter of getting somebody there and getting it done. I'll take as much time as you give me, but I've never used that as, I have real interest in having this done as soon as possible.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, go ahead, sorry.
So you have not contacted anyone currently?
I have spoken to a couple people. I haven't had anyone actually out there.
Okay.
There's somebody that owes me some money that is a contractor or a friend of a contractor. So I'm hopeful with that one, but the recommendation of Mr. Foss, I need to speak with him and get him to see it. And again, just want to have a few people take a look at it and get the ball rolling. So
The contractor you spoke with didn't give you a timeline as to how long it might take something like that?
I have nothing really solid at this point, ma'am. I mean, I really, I wish I could come to you presenting something that I had a real plan and action was just, but at this point, you know, I have full intention on having somebody out there before, you know, Christmas if possible, and get a few people out there to, but we're on the same page as to what needs to be done. I mean, it's, Mr. Foss and I have the same sense of what needs to be done.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. You can have a seat, sir.
Yes.
I'll take a look.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. In case, excuse me, in case number 23-5221, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace, of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 409 Bullard Parkway. The applicable code sections are 8-102 subsection 13 subsection O, 8-102 subsection 13 subsection P, and 8-102. 8-102. This motion is based on the.
A second.
Does he have to do the,
Yeah, you got to do the 12-860, even though it's been brought into violation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
comply, yeah, there's another form,
Yeah, it's a
I thought that's what I was doing. Complied and.
applied and existing.
Yeah. Yeah, it says applicable code sections in,
Okay,
applied.
okay. Just make sure we get 12-816 or somehow.
This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Tom Baroni, director, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed for the violation of code section 12-860 because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing. I further move that the remaining violations be completed or be corrected on or before January 10th. I'm sorry, February 14th of 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violations, and any previous violations committed by the violator, move that the fine be $75 per day.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I just, well, did you have something?
The same,
Oh.
probably the same again, it's
Well, as far as the 60-day, I realize it is gonna take them longer than 30 days to complete this work. However, I would really like to get a status, before 60 days. I'd like to get to see that there's progress, and, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
My only thinking was the holidays coming up usually keeps everybody kind of down. I don't know that we'll see any progress, but if.
No, I agree with you. I mean, the 60 days to me is because of the holidays. We got 2 weeks to Christmas, whatever. I think the 60 days, I'm good with the 60.
I'm good with 60 days, but I was hoping that you go for $50 per day.
Per violation, or?
Yeah, it's,
I did 25 per violation.
well, he already had taken his only 2
There's
violations.
only 2 that are outstanding.
Yeah.
Three.
There was 3,
Third was in compliance.
but the 12-860 is
Not the
currently.
first time I've been caught not being able to count.
Yeah, math is not your strong point.
No, apparently not.
You want to amend that?
Well, you're right, there was 3, but the 12-860 is currently in compliance.
I'm willing to amend that to $50 per day, though.
Okay.
I'm good for that.
Okay, so why don't you formally amend, and then whoever seconded it the first time will second it again.
Great.
So I'd like to amend my original to $50 per day instead of the $75 per day.
And I will re-second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and re-second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So, sir, you have until February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
Yeah, to,
I've got Moran.
hang on, let me finish. Okay, so you have until February 14th to get your permits. That's what the violation currently is here. The permits will give you a time frame in which the work must be done. Okay, if something were to come up and somehow you can't get your permits by the 14th, you need to come back here and request an extension. There is no guarantee that you will receive an extension, but you can ask, okay?
I appreciate it.
If you don't show up, you will start incurring a fine of $25 per day after February
Won't
14th.
allow that to happen.
Huh? I'm sorry, $50 per day. $50 per day.
Won't allow that to happen, but I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's just not a permit.
Next case, please.
Just a permit? He has to have.
Well, the violation is the permit. The permit will,
No, the violation is getting.
Minimum standards.
is that right? So the work has to be done?
Yes.
Okay, I misunderstood then, I'm sorry.
That's fine, I mean,
Okay.
within that
All
amount.
right, so, let me restate, okay? So, by February 14th, not only do you have to have a permit, but you gotta get the work done, but you gotta get it done, okay? If something were to prevent that from happening, you need to come back and let us know, okay?
Understand, and intend on having it done.
Step up to the podium if you're gonna speak.
Intend on having it done much sooner than that, so.
Okay, good
Full
luck.
intentions of that.
Good luck. Next case, please.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
So I guess we're back to our regular scheduled program, right?
We are not.
We're not.
We have one on unfinished that we're gonna go ahead and do real fast.
Okay. Which one?
It's 234772,
Page
Okay.
3.
City versus Carlos Alberto Rivera and Evelyn Rivera.
Okay,
This was, this is a permit
Page
case
3.
that was presented last month.
okay,
And this is for solar panels that was installed on the roof.
okay,
Mr. Rivera is here tonight to ask for an extension.
okay,
He needs to be sworn in too.
okay.
Oh, that's unfinished, huh?
Affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
4772 under unfinished. Hang on a second, sir. 23-4772 under unfinished business.
Yes.
Page 3. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Carlos Rivera. I own the 8008 Dorado Court, Temple Terrace, 33603.
Okay.
So I purchased some solar panels almost 9-10 months ago, and the company, I guess, he just took the money and didn't do the right thing. They didn't pull permit, and they took the loan, and I was not aware of that situation. That's why I'm a little late handling this. But the company that financed the solar system, they took accountability for the situation, and they are pulling out now permits. I brought evidence that the engineer, design and stuff, they're already working on it. So I just asking for the 30-day extension so the company can finish the process to ask for that permit.
Did you want to enter what you brought into the record?
I'm sorry?
Did you want to enter what you just showed?
Yeah, of course. I brought this so you guys can keep it for the record.
Pass it over to the attorney.
These are copies for us?
Yeah, that's what the Florida Management Power sent me. So I think it's the documents that they need to pull the permit, like the engineer documents and.
Okay, and that's a copy for us.
Yeah, you guys can keep it.
Okay, and so you're here tonight to request a
Just request a 30
extension?
days. Yeah, because I think they're already in that process. I'm not 100% sure where they at, but they almost done. I guess that's what they sent me, that they already put together. But I'm just trying to hold it the most that I can to
Okay, does the city have?
provide the violation.
Okay, so, boards, whatever the pleasure of the board is, if you want to give them an extension, then we need somebody to make the motion.
I'll make the motion. So in case number 23-4772, I move that the date for compliance for the violation section 8-28 subsection A subsection 1, move that the date for compliance be extended for 30 days until January 10th, 2024.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays? So you've been granted an extension until January 10th. If something were to happen and you don't have your permits or whatever by January 10th, you need to come back here and let us know and request another extension. And again, no guarantees that you will get it, but you certainly can ask, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Next case?
Okay, now we're going to go back to the beginning. It's going to be case number 234308, City versus A&T Hospitality Tampa LLC, for the property located at 13294 Telecom Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-1668B, minimum standards, sanitation garbage. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on August the 24th, 2023. My inspection revealed the west side dumpster enclosure gate in disrepair, and also inside the enclosure was not being kept neat nor clean. At that time, I left a door hanger with a compliance date of the 13th of September, 2023. My inspection on October the 12th, 2023 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of a violation was prepared with a compliance date of the 26th of October, 2023. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to the assistant manager, Kim Wilvance. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on November the 8th and the 16th of November of 2023.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions for the code officer?
Exhibit number 1 shows the west side dumpster enclosure gate in disrepair. Exhibit 2 shows green mildew staining on the west side dumpster enclosure gates. Exhibit 3 shows the west side inside the dumpster enclosure not being maintained in a neat nor clean appearance. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance, and I would like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I am only seeking a finding.
Very good, we'll accept that, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for the code officer?
Yes, Lori, this is a business. Where are these mattresses coming from?
It's,
Someplace else?
Sir,
It's somebody else, right?
no,
It's you know, that's not unusual.
it's a
people-
Holiday Inn Express.
Oh, it's a Holiday Inn Express?
Oh, okay. Okay.
But people utilizing commercial dumpsters for their own use is not unusual.
Absolutely, especially if they don't have a camera,
Right,
which they do not.
And if the enclosures are broken.
yes. if the clothes are broken.
Yeah,
It
that's for sure.
looks like maybe they broke it backing up, dumping those. That's why it appears that way. Like somebody backed into it.
You don't assume.
It's been corrected now, sir, so
So it's good.
In compliance. Any other questions?
compliance.
Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I always enjoy the one in compliance. Let me do it.
Okay.
Sorry, Gina. Because that's the
In
easiest one.
compliance, these are easy. Think.
Somebody do it.
Okay. In case number 23-4308, I move that the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 13294 Telecom Parkway. Violations being Section 8-166, subsection 8, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Almost done.
Case 235064, City versus Jewish Enrichment Center Incorporated for the property located at 13105 North 52nd Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-768A1, tree unlawful removal, Section 8-28A1, permits, application required, and Section 10-35, sanitation abutting property. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Tom Baroni. This case was presented last month by me for a tree that was cut down on a property without a permit. At that time, I asked the board for a continuance to that violation. So this evening, I'm going to ask for another continuance, however, and I'll explain why, is this violation is an irreversible, irreparable violation. So that means once they cut the tree down, there's no way to put it back up. So the arborist gave the homeowner or the property occupant 60 days to either install 10 trees or pay a $3,000 fine for cutting down that tree. So the property owner took the the Plan A, which was the 10 trees. He has 60 days to plant those trees. So the day of the permit, which is November 13th, Joe Ferris, the arborist, gave him 60 days to plant trees. So that would bring you until February, right? December, January?
January.
So, but if it's the 13th, and our hearing is January 10th, it's going to be after.
That's that, right? Okay.
Right, so I'm going to request, if with your permission, is to present this case February 14th, 2024. The 60 days is a standard practice that the arborists use.
Okay.
So he advised me that today, that's a standard practice that he uses. So I have to be fair to everybody and give that 60 days.
Okay, tell me about the other violation, 10-35. Is that sanitation related to the tree, or is that something different?
Let me just look at that because I'm not. So this would.
And are we continuing? Continuing everything?
That debris has been picked up.
Okay.
So that was curbside tree debris that was left at the curb of when the property owner cut the tree
Okay, so
down.
we can handle all of that in our next meeting.
Well, in February, if it would.
February.
If that's okay with you guys, of course, and ladies.
You're good or we're good, I guess.
I'm okay with it.
We'll see what the board says, but I imagine we're,
But I think being fair to everybody, 60 days is the amount that he utilizes, so I can present this in February if it's.
but we can handle the 10-35 at the same time we handle the other violation, right?
Yes, well, I'll be submitting an affidavit of compliance for that violation.
Okay.
And then the other one, the permit still it's in compliance with the permit, but then we have to talk about the mitigation of him, the penalty for cutting the tree.
All right, so you want to continue it until February 14th?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion then.
When we do this, we just do, just request.
Move to continue the case into a date certain.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to have a continuance on case number 23-5064 till February 14th, 2024.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Okay, next case is 235237, City versus Mariah Solinsky and Dominique Solinsky for the property located at 325 Brentwood Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-860 INOPS outdoor storage equipment. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on October 17, 2023. My inspection at the time noted a large amount of wicker furniture being stored on the driveway of the residence. This time I left a door hanger with a compliance date of October 20, 2023. My inspection on October 20, 2023 noted the wicker furniture still being stored on the driveway of the residence. At this time, I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of October 25, 2023. Inspector Smith posted the notice at the property. I requested copies to be mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the registered owner, and the notice be posted at City Hall for their 10-day requirements. My inspection on October 31st, 2023 noted no change. This time I would like to submit photographic evidence, notice posted at the door, and the wicker furniture in the driveway. Also with those photos, I just submit an affidavit of compliance.
Okay, we'll accept all those, thank you.
I'm seeking a finding.
Oh. Okay, any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Tackle this one.
Sure.
I don't have to count, right?
No math.
Just one.
In case number 23-5237, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 325 Brentwood Drive. Violations being 12-860 outdoor storage equipment. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, is that Jose Silva?
Silva, yeah.
Along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations are brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Okay, we're at case 235495, City versus Milton Vernon, for the property located at 5417 Rainbow Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 10-35, sanitation abutting property. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing are properly served.
Good evening again, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on October 30, 2023. My inspection at the time noted the street gutter in front of the residence to be overgrown with weeds, with dirt impeding the rain flow, the flow of the rainwater into the gutters. At this time, I left door hangers with compliance date of November 4, 2023. My reinspection on November 4, 2023 noted my reinspection on November 4, 2023 noted no change, so I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of November 14, 2023. Posted notice at the home as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. My inspection on November 27, 2023 noted no change. I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the notice posted at the door and 2 photographs of the overgrown street gutters.
We'll accept those, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah, just my own curiosity. So these are street gut. I mean, I'm looking at. I didn't see the picture. It meant too
Put the
fast.
picture back up.
It's
Which one do you want?
Those are the gutters.
the gutters themselves. So where?
There is a
Oh,
curb. There is a curb.
There is a curb there.
There's a curb under all that.
Okay, so
See
that's,
from the railroad side, there's a railroad on the right-hand side of the picture.
yeah, I see that.
So from there in towards the blacktop is
Just over.
There is
Okay,
there is
I
a
got
curb
you.
there, yeah.
supposed to be clean, neat,
Yeah.
and trimmed.
I got you. So yeah, I was just curious why a resident would be responsible for something that's kind of city property. It's a gutter, but I can see why now. Okay, I'm good.
Covered
Thanks.
abutting property, the homeowner or the property owner is responsible for maintaining the clean right-of-ways.
Just like that little,
Yeah.
that little strip of land
Yeah.
between the street and the sidewalk. That's not yours either, but you still gotta maintain it. Excuse me?
Usually, property owners own that underlying fee, and the right-of-way has been dedicated.
Gotcha.
And it's not in compliance, so.
Okay, very good. Any other questions?
Have you
Go ahead.
Spoken to the homeowner?
He's an over-the-road truck driver. Along with that NOV, I had also issued him for another NOV for him parking a semi at the residence. He basically called and left a message on my phone saying he was in compliance, but I think he was mentioning about his truck not being there anymore.
Okay.
So you don't have any idea that he's.
He's aware of his
You
problem.
got the notice.
Received the notice.
Yeah, it's usually, you know.
Okay.
Well, that's
Any
why I
other,
was curious if he, you're saying there's 2 violations, and he obviously has admitted to.
Both notices were placed at the
Same
same
place.
time. For the semi and this, he called me saying he was in compliance.
Looks more like a landscaping kind of cleanup.
yeah.
Shovel
Shovel, yeah.
out there and then just clear it out, throw it up on the yard. The street gutter is clear.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Go ahead.
Can I do it, Gina?
Go for it.
Thank you. Okay. Now, it's in, right, an existing violation. Yeah. In case number 23-5495, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 5417 Rainbow Drive with the applicable code violation section 10-35. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer Jose Silva and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before January 10th, 2023. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Can he just amend his date? He said 2023.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I missed that.
Sorry, I amend the date.
Good catch.
Yeah, I'm still living
Oh,
23.
you did a good, just amend it to
So are
the,
we.
Yes, I amend the date to be January 10th, 2024. Yeah, I just remember now.
we have to get somebody need a second, the amendment? Who is,
Second. I'll second the amendment.
okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
235531, City versus Roy Peretz and Kathleen Sarah Lerner for the property located at 6006 Soaring Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 22-91, City Garbage Service Required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has
Oops.
Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni.
Yeah, I can
The city has evidence that the notice of violation notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you. Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case this evening originated at the end of October when code staff noted that the property was delinquent with their garbage account. On November 1st, 2023, I visited the property and noted the home was occupied and spoke with the owner about his garbage account. He had stated that he would visit City Hall to open up an account. On November 15, 2023, I checked with customer service on the status of the account, which was advised there was no change to that status. Therefore, that day I prepared a notice of violation on the 16th of November with a compliance date of November 22nd. I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent out certified in first-class mail. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. On November 30th, 2023, I checked again with customer service on the status. Still showed no change. At this time, I'd like to submit the photos showing the posting of the notice letter at the front door. And I'm going to also show you exhibit number 2 shows you a screenshot. The last time there was an active garbage count at this location was June 8th, 2022. So it's been almost a year and a half without a garbage account. I'd like to submit at this time.
The works up, thank you. Tom, is there any accumulation of garbage
No, the sanitation's still
fixing up? Oh, there's-
Yeah.
Okay.
But they just don't have an active garbage account.
But they're putting trash cans out and they're getting picked up?
Yes.
Are the cans that are being placed out, are they new cans or
They're the new
Really?
Temple Terrace cans.
Okay.
Wow.
So I had an account, and then.
Yeah, June of '22.
Yeah, so you'll see where it says final F, that means that the count is finalized in June 8th, 2022. It should say A there. That means it's an active account. So that just shows you.
Not active.
It's, right.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Rod.
Did they change owner? Did the place change owner?
I'm not sure 100%. I'm guessing there's a new ownership there. Yes. So I would say yes. So also I'd like to have a conversation maybe about the finding.
Let's see if we got any other questions first.
Okay.
It was basically what Rod asked.
Okay. Floor is yours, sir.
Okay, so after thinking of this fine, because of last month I presented another garbage account, I think that the city recommendation would be to cap the fine at an amount that you can, let's say $500 or $1,000, but cap it at an amount because if this goes on for years, I hate to see a lien against the property for $25,000 for a garbage account. So a monthly account costs $33 for the residential owner. So if I'm thinking there's 12 months in a year, so my recommendation would probably be $1,000 at cap. I know $33 comes times 12 is probably somewhere about $400. But he should be penalized for not acquiring an account. So that's why I think $1,000 is a capital.
Shouldn't be penalized for not acquiring a account, but so when word gets out that all you gotta do is not pay your account and we'll still pick up the trash, that's okay too?
Well, the other thing I had mentioned to Public Works, we could remove that trash receptacle from that curb. So we own those trash receptacles. So once sanitation dumps that trash, we could take that receptacle with us. We will only pick up that trash receptacle at that curb that belongs to the city of Temple Terrace.
And you've had conversations with the respondent, and
Yes, I have.
and they said that they were gonna take care of it.
Yes.
And as of today, they haven't.
That's correct. So I think he should be fined, but I also think that if another month goes by, 2 months, I can make a phone call over to Public Works, and we pull that trash receptacle from that property.
He's on well and septic. He's on well and septic on that area.
I'm not sure, how is that pertaining to the trash
Just with
receptacle?
utilities, it's all included, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Oh, I see, okay, so the water account, the water account is through Tampa, so the trash receptacle, the trash account is through Temple.
Okay.
It's one of those properties that the city of Tampa supplies the water.
Okay.
Oh, I apologize, I thought you
Yeah,
didn't see the,
because I wasn't aware of, because
understand.
usually if it's on water and septic, a well and septic, then they have to have an account. But it seems to me that, because I've seen also areas in city of Temple Terrace, it's not city of Temple Terrace, but you can
Yes.
see Hillsborough County on it,
so they also even signed for the certified letter. So I know they received the notice of violation.
Right,
So I
so you had a suggestion, I'm gonna make a suggestion as well. We typically give people 30 days until our next meeting. I would like you to consider a more aggressive date than the next meeting, since they've already had a month and they haven't done anything about it.
My concern.
And the fix is to come down here or call, you can do it over the phone, right?
You can do it online.
And do it online, so they could go online and set up a trash account.
My other question is, how are we gonna recover for the city picking up for all the past this area, so that's.
So they back, as
You know,
soon as the customer comes in to apply for that account, they back bill him.
Okay, I see. So it's, the fine would be, it's not a fine, it's,
Yeah,
Well, that's not our purview, that's
Yeah,
taken
well-
care of in doing the application process.
because I think that's what he's afraid of, to go sign in and pay back.
I just want to have a conversation about capping it. That's why, I don't know if you agree with that or not, I'm just
Well,
saying.
we'll find out in a second.
Okay.
All right, so, if there's no other questions for the code officer, I entertain a motion. Whoever, somebody.
Why everybody's afraid to do this one?
Oh, this one sounds complicated.
Yeah.
It's
like-
compli- I know it's
It does involve
complicated.
math, too.
It does, there's an account, there's money that builds
It's
up.
complicated, it's
Well,
complicated.
just so you understand, the back pay for the time that he didn't have the account, that's not handled by us, that's handled during the application process.
Yeah, which is fine.
So, all we care about is
But I see Tom's point. I want to put a very good restriction on this so he can hurry up and start doing the process. Okay. In case number 23-5531, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of city Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 6006 Soaring Avenue with the applicable code violation, section 22-91. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Director, Tom Baroni, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before January 10th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the day they ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance, upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $175 per day.
Okay, there was discussion by Tom Baroni of a cap, that something you want to include in your motion or not?
$175 a day?
That's what he said.
Yes.
I think that,
Well,
wait for comments. Then.
yeah,
Wait for
we'll
a
wait for
second.
comments,
Yeah.
but,
Cap it to 1,000?
but, stop, hold on. No, we're not there yet, guys.
Okay.
We got a second at first.
Okay, we don't even have a second yet. So we have a motion, do we have a second? Okay, motion fails for lack of a second.
Okay.
So we need a new motion.
Do you want me amended?
I want somebody to make a new motion.
Okay, I will.
Doesn't have to be you, but somebody needs to.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. In case number 23-5531, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code exist on the property located at 6006 Soaring Avenue. Code violation being Section 22-91. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Director, Tom Baroni, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of this record, the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before January, I'm going to go with January 10th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues, past the date set for compliance of $25 a day, not to exceed $1,000.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
I'd like to.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
I really liked David's idea of being more aggressive on the timeline. Is there any
Oh,
chance you could
okay.
amend it
No,
to maybe
I-
December 31st?
Well, I was trying to think of, yeah, I will do that. So I would like to amend my motion to the date being December 31st instead of December 31st, 2023.
Okay, we have an amended motion. Who seconded it the first time? Bill, I think it was you.
Okay, I second the amendment.
So we have a second on the amendment. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion carries. Next case, please.
So the next case is 23-500164, City versus PPGDT Temple Terrace LLC for the property located at 8942 Bertha Palmer Boulevard. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 28 I don't think that's it. Hold on a second.
8-56.
8-56A, fire alarm system not operational. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Fire Inspector Cletus Squires. That's completely wrong as well.
That's okay.
It's going to be,
I just, in reviewing this the other day, I was concerned about whether we had proper notice. So we're going through the action of trying to renotice the property owner, and would like to have this case continued to the January 10th hearing, please.
Okay. We just need a motion to, again, to continue this hearing until a date certain.
I move that this case number 23-500164 be continued on January 10th, 2024.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. That completes our new business. On to unfinished.
okay, case number 230427, City versus 5400 Bush Boulevard LLC for the property located at 5400 Bush Boulevard. The deadline for compliance was November 8th, 2023. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Doug Allen for sections 12-1047 and 12-1049 dated November 9th, 2023. Case 23000773, City versus Pine Tree Manor Home Condo Association for the property located at 6202 Greenleaf Lane. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Lori Smith for Section 12-861 East dated December 8th, 2023. Case 232847, City versus John J. Carthy and Hiroko N. Carthy for the property located at 418 Dunedin Circle. The deadline for compliance was November 8th, 2023. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Code Officer Jose Silva for sections 12-8592 and 12-921 dated November 9th, 2023. Case 232987, City versus Diana Bartlett and Randall Bartlett for the property located at 12706 North 53rd Street. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Lori Smith for Section 12-861E6 dated December 13th, 2023. Case 234683, City versus Mariah Solinsky and Dominique Solinsky for the property located at 325 Brentwood Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case 234880, City versus Brian Nodwong and Catherine Nodwong for the property located at 309 Belclair Place. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Jose Silva for Section 8-28A1 dated November 28th, 2023. Case 234909, City versus Diana Abraham for the property located at 6103 Oak Fern Court. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Director Tom Baroni for Section 22-91 dated December 12th, 2023. Case 235007, City versus Alejandro Alvarez for the property located at 5215 Lawnwood Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case 235152, City versus Aldwin LLC for the property located at 405 Park Ridge Avenue. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. I also have one case that is not on the agenda. Case 223528, City versus Ahmad Abu Khalil for the property located at 11901 North 53rd Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Lori Smith for Section 12-860 dated November 13th, 2023. And this case is no longer accruing a lien.
Okay, great. Any other board action?
Just wanted to mention that my term ends January 2nd, I believe, and I submitted an application to serve another 3 years. Hopefully they'll approve it. I gave my application to Jennifer today.
Very good.
Thank you.
We have 2 or 3 of us that end all at the same time, right? Anybody else? Okay, lien report. You guys should have all received the spreadsheet. You guys have any questions on that spreadsheet? Guys or girls? You guys generally?
You won't offend me.
If there's no questions, I'll ask the city clerk to submit the spreadsheet into the record.
David?
Yes.
If I can, just kind of a reminder, I will be, especially as the holidays come up, and hopefully I'll have a little more time. I do plan to kind of go through that liens list and check for foreclosures and any properties that have been foreclosed out.
Okay.
Present again to you as I had done in the past, asking for those to be removed.
Okay.
Just giving you heads up.
Yeah, and again, I think maybe somebody ought to, like, we've got, that's a homestead. On the non-homesteaded property, as these fines begin to accrue, like for instance on 511 Rolling View Drive, we're up to $63,000. Maybe we ought to have a discussion about foreclosure on the lien or whatever, as they start to approach big numbers. Okay. Anybody else?
I'd just like to make a comment.
Sure.
On the unfinished business, the HOA. Yes. So I just want to give out some kudos this evening for the HOA, the Raintree HOA. If anybody's been driving along East Fowler Avenue, you should see that wall that's freshly painted, and so I want to give a kudos to the Raintree HOA. I also want to give kudos to Lori Smith for working with the HOA for the last year to get this wall finished.
Well, you were on vacation though.
I was out a lot this year.
Not you. I think Lori's on, we normally see Lori's up here a lot more, but she must have been on vacation.
So I just wanted to say kudos.
The wall does look good.
Yes. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. and we will see you next year. And Rod will send you a check for an additional 3 years. So check's in the mail.
in the mail.
But thank you for your service.
Very good. Yep, happy holidays, everybody, Merry Christmas. Anybody else have any new business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? We are adjourned, thank you.
Thank you.